Hey kids, today I want to address something I've been studying for quite a while, BIP110. First off, my premise where I'm coming from is that Bitcoin is money. It is peer-to-peer electronic cash. And JPEGs of monkeys and pixelated dicks have no place on Bitcoin's blockchain. And that Core should have been fighting this battle for node runners, making it harder and more costly to use the blockchain for non-monetary data. In other words, creating friction and cost to spammers. BIP110 tightens the rules, limits script pub keys to 33 bytes, caps op return at 83 bytes, bans long contiguous data, and it removes op-if and taproot scripts. Again, my node is not a Dropbox for memes or NFTs that force node runners to maintain for eternity at a cost to future generations who want to spin up a full node. Remember, in Bitcoin, nodes dictate the rules, not miners. Miners produce blocks. If those blocks violate node consensus, they're rejected as invalid. I was on the fence about BIP110. My concerns revolved around the initial proposal. I think it was called 444, and then it morphed into RDTS. And I wanted to study the author of the BIP, Datham Ohm, and I wanted to see how he handled criticism and if there was a willingness to listen and change the BIP. I wanted to know more about the BIP itself and whether it could work. I also wanted to know how it would run in tests. BIP110 was recently run using mainnet data, about 5 million transactions. 5 million. It filtered 40% of non-monetary transactions. How many legitimate transactions did it block? Zero. Zero. It worked with Lightning, coin joins, and multisig. I now support BIP110 fully. I'm running it on my node. I'm not going to stop running it, ever. It's just there, permanent. Just like knots. And BIP110 is already winning. Over 1,000 nodes are enforcing it more than during the SegWit activation. SegWit activation, BIP148, was also a UASF, user-activated soft fork, just like BIP110. BIP148 forced the SegWit activation despite opposition from big miners, exchanges, some members of Core. Remember, nodes hold the power, not the miners. Hardcore maxis like me, we're an intolerant minority and we're flexing our muscles here. I don't believe this will be a chain split. Exchanges and miners will adapt because resisting means losing out. BIP110 grandfathers old transactions, so no one's funds get locked out. And let me ask you this. Why would anyone fight to keep dust transactions and spam in blocks? Did you know that a serious mining operation has to keep the entire blockchain in RAM, the fastest RAM they can get, in order to be competitive? This is a cost now, and it's going to be skyrocketing more and more as they compete with AI. There's no logical reason to fight for spam or dick-butt JPEGs kept on eternity on the blockchain. When I say I'm running BIP110 on my node, I'm signaling with my node that I support this UASF. Every other node running it is doing the same thing. And we don't need that many nodes as an intolerant minority to win. If only a small percentage of nodes enforce BIP110, the network tips in their favor because non-compliant blocks get ignored. Miners don't have the incentive to risk orphan blocks. If miners and exchanges signal early, this will be successful very quickly. It will take very little time or very little hash rate from miners to activate this also. And what is the end game? First off, BIP110's success will demonstrate again that nodes hold power, not miners. This solidifies Bitcoin as unbreakable money, not to be fucked around with, and that we will resist and make it costly for spammers to be on the network. If you want to play with inscriptions, ordinals, runes, go to some other fucking blockchain like ETH and play there. If you want crap kept in a permanent Dropbox for eternity, do it somewhere else. So, no more letting cores and actions slide. We, the node runners, take back control. So what can you do? Start by running a node. Then run BIP110. It's straightforward, and there are resources online and videos on X and YouTube also. Signal your support. Core has failed us. I believe that they are corrupted, either by outside influence or internally by becoming a walled garden, the elite. Maybe it's both. I don't know. BIP110 is temporary. Signaling for miners takes place in September. If BIP110 is successful, it'll last 1 year. That will allow us to make sure it is both safe and remains effective. Stay sovereign and frosty out there, kids. Talk to you later.